There's this tiny yet super important muscle when it comes to doing pull-ups, and it's right here in your forearm. It's called your brachioradialis. Now, if you talk to anybody who knows biomechanics for pulling strength, they're gonna know that your brachioradialis is heavily involved. Personally, I like taking what I learned in a textbook and using it in practical application. That way I'm applying not only the proven science and knowledge behind it, but what works best in my own practice. And every time I would compete in pull-ups or break world records for pull-ups, no joke, my brachioradialis was the thing that stood out the most. It was the thing that was locking up. Like after a world record attempt or a competition, my arm would flex and this muscle right here, your brachioradialis, would be cramping up in that position. So not only does the science and textbooks and stuff you learn in school show you that the brachioradialis is important, I personally know it's important because it was super heavily used in these competitions that I was in. Here's one of the best ways I've found to train that muscle, because it is kind of weird. So we know when we're in a dead hang, our brachioradialis is at full length and it's nice and stretched. And as we pull up, it is becoming a little shorter and we're pulling up into that fully locked out position. Because of where your body is on the pull-up bar, you are not pulling in a directly vertical pattern, at least resistance-wise, because our legs are slightly out in front of us. And the way it activates your brachioradialis is really good. That's the reason it's such a prime mover in this movement. But that's also why doing a vertical pull is not going to activate the brachioradialis ideally, such as when we get on the pull-up bar and do it. So the first thing you want to do is semi-pronate your hands as if we were doing a pull-up. This would be a chin-up. This is going to be more like a pull-up. A key note is as we come up in the movement, we're going to do a little bit of radial deviation, which is where our wrist comes towards the midline and we're kind of doing this action here. And remember, that's as we're coming up, we're flexing the wrist upwards towards our thumb. And then the last thing is as we curl that weight up, we're going to bring our elbow back just a little bit, kind of like a drag curl. The last thing I would add would just be adding a slight bend to your body. So kind of making it a bent over row. But as we're coming up, we're doing that radial deviation, pulling back and back down, just like this. And you'll feel that right in your brachioradialis, especially if you add a little bit more resistance. Get that nice and engaged, and that's going to activate all the way through here. And I promise, the more you can activate and strengthen your brachioradialis, the easier pull-ups are going to start to become. Hopefully that helps.